Hello, welcome to Toastmasters Bay to Bay, where we feature speakers from District 4, which extends from San Francisco all the way to Monterey. My name is Ellyson Barnes, and I'll be your host. I am celebrating a birthday today and also 11 years as a Toastmaster. I want to extend a very warm welcome to our members and guests that are here tonight. This program will feature one of the more than 11,000 Toastmasters clubs worldwide in 92 countries. Once you join a club, you are given a manual with 10 speech projects to complete at your own pace. Those projects cover the 3 basic speech categories: informative, entertaining, and persuasive. Today we have a great program for you, and we'll feature 2 speakers and 2 evaluators. I'd like to introduce our first speaker, Robert Tang. His theme tonight will be speaking after dinner. His objectives are prepare an entertaining after dinner talk and deliver this talk extemporaneously. Robert Tang, can a Toastmaster win on reality TV? Can a Toastmaster win on reality TV? Robert Tang.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you.
Did you know that the fall season is already upon us? Well, I'm referring to the fall TV season of shows. My digital video recorder is starting to get full again. Full of recording some of my favorite shows like Survivor, The Amazing Race, Dancing with the Stars, The Apprentice, Wipeout, just to name a few. I must admit, I'm a big fan of watching reality TV, watching human nature at its best, at its funniest, and at times at its worst. I love it. As a longtime Toastmaster member, I can't help wondering, what if a participant of a reality TV show happened to be Toastmaster trained, whether it's in public speaking or serving as a leader? Can that contestant on reality TV be competitive and perhaps give that person an extra advantage? Let's take a look at one of my favorite reality TV shows, and it involves like this. Moving the hips a little bit, or maybe just sliding, gliding, and that is Dancing with the Stars. Hello, everyone. Toastmasters. What if you, a Toastmaster, was selected to be a contestant on my favorite show, Dancing with the Stars? How would your Toastmaster experience help you perhaps win that grand prize of this ball at the end of the show? Well, if you're a Toastmaster and you have competed in contests, speaking contests, whether it's table topics, speech contests like humorous or international speech, or even an evaluation contest, that would help you a lot, because in Dancing with the Stars, where you're partnered with a professional dancer and you have to perform a dance every week to impress the judges, to give you high scores, as well as to get the viewing audience to give you lots of votes. So in combination, you'll be score high enough to return again to show off your dancing. You must do that. So how being a contestant can help you? Well, being a contestant, you learn to keep track of time, because in speech contests, like in Toastmasters, we get a light, but in Dancing with the Stars, when your time's up, you don't get the luxury of the light. The music just stops. And your dancing better stop when the music stops. So that would help, as well as the practice of using the area. Just make believe this is a dance area. When you're in the contest, use as much of the area as possible. So as a contestant on a Toastmaster speech contest, that will really help you when you're up there on the stage of Dancing with the Stars to perform, because you want to use up the whole area. And then there are speech projects in what the Toastmaster said earlier in the speech communication manual. There's 2 speech projects that come to my mind that I think would be beneficial. One is project number 5, and that's basically let your body speak in a way where even the deaf can hear you. Because your body is doing the talking, and that training, that practice on delivering that speech project number 5 will certainly help you as a dancer with your partner on Dancing with the Stars, because you're moving and you're letting your body show off to the judges and to the audience. So speech project 5, where your body speaks, would be very beneficial. And then there's that speech project number 7, which is the use of visual aids. How to dress to impress the judges, and using visual aids, your body, and using that spray-on tan, you know, that would help you a little bit. The whole goal is, well, I read it as dress sexy to impress, to get those high judges from, you know, Len, you know, or Bruno, if you're a female. Those are those 2 speech projects I think would be very worthwhile as a Toastmaster member that would help you as a contestant on Dancing with the Stars, because the combination of practicing to connect with your audience as a speaker, as a public speaker in the Toastmaster Club, can be transferable to being a contestant on a reality TV show like Dancing with the Stars, where you're, I guess, encouraged to impress the judges, to get the high scores in any way you can with your body, with your visual aids, and learning how to use the whole area, and perhaps make sure that you're on cue with the music. You know, I bet you didn't know that being a long-time Toastmaster member, going through all the speeches, going to meetings, that the skills that you learn can be transferable, perhaps, to a reality TV show like Dancing with the Stars. I could also talk about how to use those skills to be an effective contestant on Survivor, but that's probably another speech at another time. So right now, I hope to have convinced you that being a Toastmaster member can make you a very competitive dancer on a reality TV show such as Dancing with the Stars. Mr. Toastmaster.
Great. Thank you very much, Robert. Now, how long have you been a Toastmaster now?
I've been speaking in front of a Toastmaster club for 7 years.
Fantastic. And what is the name of your home club?
I belong to 2 in Foster City, California. One is Pro Toasties, an advanced club, as well as Foster City Toastmasters.
And when you first joined Toastmasters, besides maybe becoming a better dancer, what did you hope to achieve?
Well, it's getting an audience. Because I don't get an audience at work, nor do I get one at home. So I know at Toastmasters meeting, I get an audience where I can at least stand up and learn to be comfortable in front of people. That's
very good.
Really been helpful.
And have you achieved that?
I think I did, because I have expanded my comfort zone to include speaking in front of people.
Fantastic. Well, you know, we have an evaluator for you tonight, and that will be David Richet. So I want to thank you very much. All right. Hey, David, how are you?
Hi, Ellyson. Great, thanks. How are you?
And you'll be evaluating Robert's speech.
Yes.
Great, thank you.
Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests, and Robert. Speeches that are inspirational or motivational are like nutritious meals. After dinner speeches are like mental desserts. As mental desserts, after dinner speeches should be pleasurable, easy to digest, and ideally a personal favorite. Robert's after dinner speech was all 3. First, it was pleasurable. It was entertaining. He appealed to us through the use of humor, with his gestures of Dancing with the Stars, and with his comments about how he could win as a Toastmaster. He talked about that challenges were no problem because of all the contests that we've been through. His speech was easy to digest because he spoke extemporaneously. He moved about the stage with ease. He used no notes, giving us the illusion that he was just casually talking to us, making us feel more comfortable. If you noticed, he had a smile in his voice as well, giving us the idea that the speech wasn't that serious. One suggestion for Robert would be to simplify the title. Instead of Can the Toastmaster Win on Reality TV, since the speech was primarily about Dancing with the Stars, focus just on Dancing with the Stars? The third aspect of the speech is it a personal favorite? Is there a connection with the audience? Well, this audience are Toastmasters. Therefore, the idea that he should speak about Toastmasters and reality TV is a home run. To connect it even further, he could invite audience participation about how many people watch reality TV. Good dessert is pleasurable, easy to digest, and appropriate. That's a formula to survive any after-dinner speech. Mr. Toastmaster.
Great, David. Thank you very much. One of our featured clubs today, as I had mentioned earlier, is called Early Risers, and they've been around for 50 years. They're going to have a banner retiring ceremony at this time, and I give you Early Risers.
Early Risers has been around since 1958. We are an Early Risers club. We meet at 6:30 in the morning every Tuesday. We are definitely a group of coffee drinkers. Our banner's been around quite a while. It's gotten rather ratty and tattered, and we decided to retire the old banner and replace it with a newer one. We decided to present the retired banner to Bud for all his contributions to the club.
My name is Bud Rubin, and I've been with Early Risers 20 years, I've learned. I've been president and so on in earlier years. And so I'm active in the club as well as attending meetings. The bulk of the speeches I give are on topics that are of interest to me. And so I do the research investigation to learn more about this topic. So it's a learning process as well as a speaking process.
And this club about 3 years ago went through a year of focusing on improving our evaluations. We practiced it, we gave a lot of feedback to the evaluators, we went through one of the advanced modules on evaluations. We very explicitly spent a year focusing on improved evaluations. And the interesting thing is that people learned how to do it, and then when new members came in, they learned from them, and it just changed the culture of the club. We don't do whitewashes anymore. We, by and large, have good evaluations, and that helps people grow faster because they find out how they're being perceived and how they're being heard and how it comes across to other people, which is key to making change. I signed up at a state park and became a docent, and I was terrified that somebody would ask me questions. And I feel a lot better about it. I'm still learning, but I'm a lot more comfortable with the idea somebody might actually ask me a question. Most of the time I can answer it.
I picked Early Risers because I'm an early riser myself. I have a few other events that go on in the morning from sometimes 5:30 or 7:30, and this worked out really well, and I prefer to do something in the morning as opposed to in the evening. It fits my schedule beautifully. I'm currently transitioning in my career where I'm becoming more into sales as opposed to engineering. And when you're more in sales, you have to present a lot more. If you can conquer public speaking, you can conquer anything.
We laugh a lot. We have a lot of fun. We end with a joke, and after the energy of the meeting and then the laughter of the joke, I think people are all set to go do whatever it is they have to do next in the day.
Our second speaker tonight, Candadai, will be speaking, and his theme is the dramatic talk. His speech objectives today are entertaining, a dramatic talk about an incident. Use vivid imagery, characters, and dialogue. And third, deliver talk in an interpretive manner. Candadai, the power of giving. The power of giving, Candadai. Thank you.
It's 4 in the morning. 6-month-old Akash is up and crying because he's hungry. 7-year-old Vineet is up and wants to play. 5-year-old Mani is tugging his shirt, needing attention. with a smile on his face and love in his heart, this young man tends to each one of them. Now, what is so special about this picture? None of those kids belong to him. They're all mentally challenged, and they're all living in a home started by this 23-year-old man. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, honored guest, welcome to the world of the amazing Ayyappan. I was in Chennai, India last summer, and I came across this wonderful article in the local papers. Sometime in the early 90s, two teenage brothers are playing in the fields outside a remote village in South India. They came from a very poor family, but a very loving family. And they were very close to each other. The only thing that the family was struggling with was that the older boy was mentally challenged. And the situation outside their playful world was very grim. Of course, there was no psychiatric help. And then it happened. The two boys, one day as they were playing, the older boy has a stroke and dies at the age of 11. Of course, it breaks the younger brother's heart. And once he comes out of his grief, with about $20 equivalent in his pocket, he sets out on this mission to help children like his older brother who are mentally challenged. Now, I was so fascinated by the story that I decided to pick up the phone and call this young man. The more I heard him, the more impressed I became with his determination and with his selflessness. And towards the end of the conversation, I asked him, "Is there anything I can do for you?" Almost choking, he said, "Yes, there is. We are in the need of a minivan. You see, some of these children have seizures in the middle of the night, and you know what? I am just afraid that one of these days I might be a little late taking public transportation to take them to the hospital." Now, without even missing a beat, I said, "The kids will have their minivan." My wife nearly fell off the couch. She said, "Honey, did you realize what you just did? You committed to $15,000. Where are we going to get that money from?" I had no idea. I knew that it will be okay. Now, one of the things that I decided to do at that point was start saving from that point on. But you also have to understand our situation back then. We did not have a lot of money, but whatever little money we had, I was not one to part with it easily. I loved my money back then, and my wife, she loved her shopping. I remember we were in a mall one day, and this gentleman came up to us and said, "Oh, how romantic. You're holding hands." I said, "Yes, I love her very much. And also, if I let go, she shops." I still remember the time when I was writing that check, telling myself, "You can't do this. You have a mortgage to pay. You have a wife to raise, a wife to take care of. How are you going to get this money?" But that inner voice kept telling me, "It will all be okay." So I did send that check, and the weeks after that, I started calling my friends and family, trying to raise the rest of the money. All my mortgage and my bills, all that worry just went through the window. All I could picture was this van full of laughing and screaming kids. And then one day, when we finally decided to do this, it was the time when I had to get the money. And that was the time when I was looking at this nearly empty bank account reality set in. I had to pay my mortgage. I had to pay my bills. I had 2 days left. The voice kept telling me, it will all be okay. The next morning, as I was going through my bills and the mail, there I saw it, a dreaded note that I never wanted to see. It said, from the IRS. Now, what I wanted to do was not pay, and I told myself, I knew it. I shouldn't have written that check. How am I going to pay this fine now? And as I opened the envelope, something that had never happened to me happened. I got a refund for exactly double the amount, or to the dollar, of the check that I had written to the kid. Today, there are kids playing in the minivan. My wife has more dollars for her shopping. I was happy I took care of the mortgage. Now that is the power of giving.
Great. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I was on edge.
Thank
So
you.
the IRS does have power.
Yes.
Thank you. And so how long have you been a Toastmaster?
About 5 years now.
5 years?
Yes.
Great. And what club are you with?
ICC Articulators in Milpitas.
Is that the only club?
I'm also part of an advanced club called the Next Step Toastmasters.
Fantastic. So when you first started out Toastmasters, besides wanting to give $15,000 to a charity or a minivan, what else did you hope to accomplish?
Well, I wanted to be a more confident speaker, but at the same time, I learned there was more to Toastmasters than that, and I quickly began to learn leadership skills as well, so it's been a great ride.
Fantastic. So after all those years as a Toastmaster now, have you achieved what you originally set out?
Absolutely, I did.
Great. Can you give us one quick example of ways that you've achieved?
Well, one example is how I've improved on an impromptu speaking.
Very good.
Just a casual conversation with my CEO, and I was there.
Great. Well, you have an evaluator tonight.
All right.
And her name's Garylene Javier. So I want to thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, Garylene.
Hello.
You'll be evaluating Hari's speech?
Yes.
Great.
It truly is amazing to see what the power of giving is. My fellow Toastmasters, Mr. Toastmaster, and most especially Hari, this was a fantastic example of what a dramatic speech really is. And by examining the structure, the characters, and also your body language, we too might be able to figure out how to become an entertaining speaker. So let's first take a look at the characters in your story. The characters were very dynamic. You talked about your wife loving shopping, that if you let go of her hand, she would just go shop nonstop. You talked about the children pulling on the person's shirt. By doing all those descriptions, by saying all those types of descriptions, you draw the audience in. You let us know the kinds of people, the kinds of characters that are in your story, and then we ultimately connect to them. So fantastic job on that. The second point that I wanted to touch on is your body language. I think with such a dynamic story, you tend to move around, pacing almost. Center yourself. Make purposeful gestures to impact your story, because by doing that, it gives it extra oomph and even more dramatic speech. Lastly, and this is my favorite part, is the story buildup. By seeing the opening of the children interacting with the person you were speaking to, and then how it moved you to be more philanthropic, to say, how is this going to affect me? And you showed us by explaining to us how it's impacting your life. Do you want to give up money? You have responsibilities. That drew us in even more. And in the conclusion, by seeing the obstacles start from the very beginning of what the issue was, to how it impacted you, and finally, to what you did. The power of giving is very powerful indeed. And Hari, that was an excellent example, and I too wish I will be as philanthropic as you.
Great, Garylene. Thank you very much. We've heard from 2 speakers and 2 evaluators, and they showed excellent examples of what Toastmasters can do for you. For more information, I want you to please contact the Toastmasters.org website, which is the international website, or we also have a district website, which is d4tm.org. We also have a district conference coming up, which we invite the entire district, over 200 clubs, to show up at the Biltmore Hotel in Santa Clara. It's November 14th and November 15th, which is a Friday and Saturday. There's educationals, lots of great speakers, just an opportunity to network with other Toastmasters, as well as your friends, and hopefully even your family. My final line tonight is something that I'll take to heart about what you've learned in Toastmasters, to unlock your potential and pursue your dreams of becoming a great public speaker and a community leader. A Toastmasters club is just a step away. You can join Toastmasters by contacting your district governor or any of the top officers. You can find them all at the d4tm.org website. I want to mention one more thing also. It is my birthday today that we're celebrating. Should we sing? Okay. I'll take that as a no. But I've learned so much from Toastmasters myself. I've gotten out of it a lot of confidence and consequently promotions at my work. And I love it. I've, as I mentioned, 11 years, but more importantly, I have a new family that I can call up and go out, and we have fun together, a lot of social events, and then networking gives me lots of opportunities to network with my career and if I'm ever looking for something to do. So I want to thank you very much.